Hi guys, sorry I am not here today. I'm actually at school. I am in a meeting in C180, so I am not here to teach you, but I am physically at school. But all of you should have gotten a packet that looks like this. It's not very big, but this is what we're going to be doing until spring break. Okay, it's called the 2 Gram Lab. It is a lab that you are going to fully design yourself. You're going to work with groups, which you will find out tomorrow, okay? So the key to this, though, is you need to stay on task. You need to complete the things by the days that they are said to be done, okay? So that is the biggest thing. And like today, you need to get the sample calculations page done. You're going to see a video on kind of how to do that calculation page, but that's today. So it's key to stay on task, okay? And a few things about this packet. On the calendar side, I realized as I'm talking about due dates, for today it says due Thursday. That should not say due Thursday. I want you to change that right now to due Tuesday, okay? So today, March 10th, it says sample calculation and start sample calculation and sample procedure. So you need to have the sample calculation page done by tomorrow. And like I said, you're going to watch a little video. So cross off that due Thursday. Okay. And then it says sample calculation and write procedure due Friday on Tuesdays. That's actually due on Wednesday. All right. So kind of what you're going to be doing with this lab is you're going to try a demo. Okay. So on Wednesday, you are doing a sample lab. You're going to write the procedure on Tuesday. We're going to have laptops that you're going to be able to work with your groups. So you're going to get it typed up. And then on Wednesday, you are going to follow that steps. Maybe you're going to need to add some things to it. Maybe you're going to realize things are not necessary in your procedure. But you're going to try that out on Wednesday. Okay, so you need to have that procedure written. I'm actually going to show you the procedure here in a few minutes. But so that's kind of what our goal is. On Wednesday, you're going to do the sample, see how does this work, is it working properly. On Thursday, you're going to tweak things with your sample calculations. Then you're going to get your real substances. All right, so all the way through Wednesday and Thursday, you're just trying things out, you're demoing it. Thursday, you're going to get the real substances. Friday, you're going to do the actual lab. Okay, so Wednesday, we're going to do a lab. Friday, we're going to do a lab. Okay? So what is this 2 gram? What is this all talking about? What are we learning here? I'm just throwing out due dates and things like that. So what you're going to do is you are going to get 2 substances. They're white powders. And this is the sample calculation stuff that you have. Okay? So you have barium chloride dihydrate and potassium chromate or carbonate. All right? And as solids, we can mix these together and they're not going to react, okay? We want these to go through in a reaction so that you end up with 2 grams of product at the end, solid white product. All right? So you're going to use your stoichiometry to figure out how much of each of these you're going to start out with, and then you're going to mass them out. You're going to dissolve them in water so that they turn into aqueous solution so that they're actually going to react. And then you are going to filter it, dry it once you get this solid form. So you're going to see what I'm going to be doing. What does it mean? But you want to have these 2 go through a reaction. All right? And if I were to take some I don't have anything to put them in. If I just put the solids, it's not going to work. All right? So what I want you to do, I'm going to demo a procedure for you. So I want you to take out a piece of notebook paper so that you can write down a bunch of notes so that you kind of can, when you're writing your procedure, you can think back on what I did. All right? So if the sub could please pause the video while everybody gets out a piece of notebook paper, that would be awesome. Okay, so as I said, you are going to have these 2 white solids that you are going to get in your lab, okay? First thing you're going to do, and I'll walk through this, but you are going to go through a calculation page. It looks like this, and I haven't filled in some of mine. I was just doing the math part. you need to figure out how many grams of those two reactants you're starting with. Okay, so that is a mass to mass calculation. You're going to use stoichiometry. You're going to, and when you mix these two, they're going to make, one of them is going to make a solid. And I gave you a solubility table to figure that out, and I will talk about that more in a little bit. Okay, basically, the thing that's going to produce is barium carbonate. Okay, and so you're going to start with 2 grams, because you know that's how much you want, 2 grams of barium carbonate. You're going to convert it into grams of the 2 reactants. So you're going to convert it into grams of barium chloride dihydrate and into grams of potassium carbonate. So you figure out how many grams you are starting with. Okay, so you're going to get a balance. All right, you're going to get some weigh paper. You're going to make sure when you are using weigh paper, always hit the 0 button. It's a lot easier than trying to figure out the mass of the filter or mass of the weigh paper later, subtracting it, whatever. That's a bunch of extra steps. So you're going to mass them out. You're going to put a bunch of the white solids. So here's one of them. I've already done it. Okay, you're going to figure out whatever mass you calculated. That's how much you're starting with. Okay, so mass out your first reactant. You are going to have full range of whatever glassware you want to use, things like that. You just have to document everything that you use. You're going to want to state what size it is, how many you have of them. Okay, so I mass out my first substance. Okay, and I'm going to put it into, I'm choosing a beaker. This is actually a 250 milliliter beaker. It doesn't really matter the size. Maybe it does. It's up to you what you want to do. Try it out. Okay, so I'm going to put the first white solid in there. Okay, and that's actually the potassium chromate. And then I'm going to take distilled water. And the reason why we take distilled water is we don't want anything else in there. We don't want to cross-contaminating it. So make sure you use distilled water. We're going to add enough of it to dissolve. All right, and I don't have that much left right now, so I'm not going to take a whole bunch. All right, and I'm going to stir it until it all dissolves. Okay, you don't want to see any, there's some white stuff still in here. So you want to keep stirring it until it all the way goes clear. Okay, you do the exact same thing with the other white solid. Oh, I also forgot. You need to wear goggles at all times. These don't really work with my glasses, but it's okay. So you are going to get mass out your other reactant. Notice I put it in a separate beaker. Key. Okay? Make a note of that. You want 2 separate containers to put these reactants in. Okay? I'm going to add enough distilled water. I'm out of distilled water, so I would have to go get more. You want to keep stirring it until it's all dissolved. Okay? You might be asking, how much distilled water do I need? That is, again, something you need to figure out. Okay? It's up to you. All right? So I already have these 2 dissolved in water. Okay? So now I have my 2 reactants. They're in aqueous solution so that they should react with one another. And I'm just going to mix them together. Okay? So here I see, oh, that turned into a white. It's cloudy. That must mean that there is a solid that's produced here. Okay? So this is what I want to end up being 2 grams. All right? Now I don't want all the liquids. I just want the solids. So if you think back to that copper lab that we just did, we are going to filter them out. Okay? So I'm going to fold it just like I did out. Make sure you put your name on it in pencil. Okay, so make sure you put your name with pencil. Okay, and again, some of you asked, well, why did we tear the corner before? All right, well, we want this to stick to this funnel. Okay, so we're going to go through the filtration process. All right, we're going to stick this in here. I'm going to wet it a little bit. I don't have much distilled water so that it sticks. All right, and we want to tear that corner right here. We want to make sure it's the one that goes against the wall because this is going to hold this inside paper down and it makes it a lot easier for us to use it later on. Okay, so now I have my solid. It looks more like a milk mixture right now, but it is a solid. Okay, and I'm going to filter this. All right, it's going to take me a little while. All right, because I don't want to overfill it. And that's something that you want to kind of be conscious of. Maybe when you're figuring out your water, how much water do I want to use? I want to make sure it gets all dissolved, but it might take me longer to filter it. Okay. Some other things to look at, and you might want to write this in your procedures, make sure that there's not white cloudiness in the bottom of your Erlenmeyer flask. Okay? If there is, you might want to refilter it. You also want to make sure that everything is really, really clean, because you might want to clean it again, because who knows who cleaned it before, their soap, all that kind of stuff, because it might mess up your data. Okay? If it turns into, like, if there's something in there like copper or whatever, it can make it heavier. All right, so you're going to want to filter this until all of the solid, all the liquid and the solid have separated. Okay, we'll talk about a few other things, but that's your whole goal, is you want 2 grams of this white solid. All right, I will be back tomorrow. Also, side note, has nothing to do with this lab. I will be here after school, so if you do not finish your test on Friday, you need to be here after school today. If they are not done by today after school, whatever you don't have done, you're getting wrong. So if you are one of those people that said, I will stay after school today, then you need to be here. I will be here by 2:15 at the latest, so you need to stay and wait. Otherwise, they will be counted wrong. Okay? If you have questions, send me an email. You will, again, be watching another short video on how to do the sample calculation page. All right? When it talks about number 2, predict the products, I say page 920 in your textbook. It is going to be just a solubility table that I have given you, but you can also just put barium carbonate there for now. Okay? So, shoot me an email if you have questions, or a tweet, and we can go from there. So, have a great day. Hope you have a great Monday.